Hello and welcome back to HBO Max. I'm Makenna. Joining me as always is Brandon. Hi, Brandon. How are you today?
I'm doing very well, Makenna.
I'm glad. The basketball is happening.
It is.
The
Jimmy
baseball is
Buckets.
happening.
Less interesting.
Less interesting. That is.
WNBA is happening.
WNBA is happening.
That's what we're really excited about these days.
Basking it up, you know. Sports. And
Indeed.
joining us is the one, the only, Aaron Roetcisoender. Hi, Aaron. How are you today?
Hello, I'm very happy to be here. Thank you guys for having me.
I'm so happy you're here. I'm really excited because I think we've talked about having you on for a while and everything, and now it's guest time. It is.
Well, Aaron, at the beginning of the year, Aaron put out his hit list for the year.
Yes, he did.
Of everybody he was going to kill this year.
Every person I'm gonna murder content with this year.
The Steve Buscemi, shout out to the first episode of HBO Max, the Steve Buscemi list. Cross it off, Aaron.
Man,
Cross
I'm
it
glad
off,
I called that guy.
Cross it off, put the lipstick on.
Yeah, exactly.
Let me tell you what.
Well, I'll cross it off at the end of the show.
Oh, yes.
How about that?
Yeah, we could kick you off like 20 minutes in.
Yeah, this will never air, so we're fine. This will never air.
Love Steve Buscemi, you know. I just want to shout him out. I just love him.
Shout out to Bug Eyes Buscemi.
I love him so much. I'm watching Boardwalk Empire, and he's just Steve Buscemiing it up, and you know, he's great.
He's going full Buscemi tilt on that show.
Well, can we get him on the show? I want Steve Buscemi on the show.
You just gotta mail Makenna a life-size Buscemi cardboard cutout. Just chill in the background.
Amazing. Oh my gosh. There's so many you could choose from. You could go like Armageddon Buscemi, Fargo Buscemi, Boardwalk Empire Buscemi, where he's in like his suits and whatnot. Wow.
I feel the one you have to get is the How Do You Do Fellow Kids Buscemi.
Dirty Rock.
That's the one.
One day I'm gonna make a compilation of, I think she does it once an episode, but Makenna asking if we can get somebody on the show.
I wonder how many times Steve Buscemi's been brought up to be brought up.
It's probably been multiple times.
Every movie that we've done that he's in. Even things that he's not in, he's not in ROBOCOP, so I mean, here we go.
That we know of.
We got it in this episode.
Yeah! We did ROBOCOP.
Well, I need to stop. I need to stop the podcast for a second, Makenna. I was hoping to get it before you drop the title.
I'm so
because
sorry.
I'm trying to game the stats. Shout out to Robbie, the official stat keeper of HBO Max.
Shout out to Robbie.
But I need to completely derail the conversation of the podcast because I had something that I thought of this week that I really want to talk about. And I don't think McKenna's going to be able to engage in this conversation at all, but this is mostly for Aaron.
I'm going to do my puzzle then.
Okay, have you seen the movie, McKenna, Jingle All the Way with Arnold Schwarzenegger?
No.
Okay, this is a fantastic film. Legendary movie.
You're gonna do that episode around Christmas. You have to.
Yeah, we'll get around to it next.
Or just do it in July. Christmas in July.
We could. Arnold Schwarzenegger, Phil Hartman. Is it Jake Lloyd? Is his son?
Anakin Skywalker.
Anakin Skywalker. So. An interesting thing that I love about Arnold Schwarzenegger movies, which has kind of been copy pasted on into all like the later Arnold Schwarzenegger ripoffs, your Dwayne "The Rock" Johnsons, you're even Channing Tatum's to an extent, right? Which is Arnold Schwarzenegger's incredibly jacked. He's a massive man, former bodybuilder, former world champion bodybuilder. He's fucking huge.
Mr. Olympia, right?
Yeah. So this becomes really interesting because in a lot of his later movies, like Jingle All the Way, he's not playing a badass or like a robot like in his early days or Hercules. He's just a guy who works at a business.
Yeah.
He's just a regular dude who happens to be the most jacked person you would ever see in your life. And this
with the most recognizable voice and face on the planet.
Yeah, he's just like an Austrian
I have
businessman.
to get these reports done by Friday afternoon.
He would be the most memorable guy in any office you ever worked in.
Absolutely.
You would be telling stories about this guy for the rest of your life if you worked with him. What makes it really interesting is that it sometimes can create plot holes in the movie. like in Jingle All the Way, where like in a lot of family movies, especially Christmas movies, like the main crux of the film, right, is that Arnold Schwarzenegger, businessman, giant Austrian businessman, he's working too much. He's not spending enough time with his family. He doesn't get the toy for his kid because he stays late at the office to work, right? Classic trope in a movie, classic like character arc thing to go through. Here's the problem though. This guy's clearly spending 5 hours a day in the gym. Probably going to the gym twice a day. He's massive. He's huge. He has to be just working out constantly. The problem is not that he's working too much and that he's spending too much time at his job. His problem is he has a hobby that is taking up all of his family time. He's going to the gym constantly.
Either that or his job allows him a 5-hour-long lunch and they have a gym at the office.
Yeah, and he's choosing not to spend that time with his kid. He's not working too much. He's working out too much.
No freaking wonder he became Darth Vader, dude. He didn't have a father figure around.
Exactly.
I can't wait to when this episode goes up to just tweet out, hey, we talked about RoboCop, but we spent the first 15 minutes talking about Jingle All the Way.
Yeah. Well, you know, it's important to get the TikTok clip out right at the beginning.
It's true.
Yeah.
It's true.
That way Makenna just has it.
Yeah, I much appreciate. I don't have to scrub through remembering conversations I don't remember having. It's a good
It's
time.
very difficult.
I'm looking at Jingle All the Way. Chris
Oh,
Columbus.
it's a banger.
Produced
It's a
by
very
Chris
fun
Columbus.
movie.
Chris Columbus. Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
That's that guy
Guy
He's-
did Gremlins.
sailed around the ocean blue.
Yeah, what
Different Chris Columbus, but sure.
Yeah.
did Chris Columbus make a movie in 1982? Because if he
find out.
did,
Let's go.
he
Oh, no, 2 years off with Gremlins.
he did Home Alone 2 in 1992. In 1992,
In 1992.
Columbus made Home Alone 2.
Holiday of 92. Columbus released Home Alone 2.
Oh my god. Wow.
Chris Columbus, secretly one of the like most banger directors of the 80s and 90s. Just like
Oh yeah.
Gremlins, Goonies, Young Sherlock Holmes, Adventures in Babysitting. Shout out to Little Nemo and Slumberland. That movie sucks, but I watched it just a billion times when I was a kid. Mrs. Doubtfire,
Great movie.
Bicentennial Man, first two
Great movie, but
HPs.
Yeah.
Mhm.
This is one I got.
Yeah.
Bangers.
Yeah.
Bangers. Just bangers.
The only 2 movies I've seen of his.
You haven't seen Home Alone?
No.
Or Gremlins? Gremlins.
go watch
fucking
Gremlins.
rules.
Gremlins is also a Christmas movie.
Is
Gremlins Jingle All the Way double feature.
Oh, for another little side story here that McKenna's not gonna get. That scene in Gremlins, like right after the Gremlins turned into the Gremlins, right?
Mhm.
And like the moms in the kitchen just fucking like just ripping through Gremlins like she's fucking John Wick. Like,
Yeah.
oh my god.
Shout out to Mom.
Yeah, there's a scene in the movie where the mom just fucking murders like 20 gremlins in a row, just like shoving them in a fucking blender, slamming them in ovens and shit. Like she just suddenly like goes insanely hard. Like
Yeah,
she must
way
have
harder
been
than
like,
necessary, but she had to.
like she must have been like a spy or something.
It's the house of Mr. and Mrs. Smith, and she's just like throwing them all in the microwave and shit like that.
No hesitation. All of a sudden, she's just fucking murdering gremlins.
Yeah, she's not standing there being like, "What the hell are these things?" It's like these things are
She
demons
was-
and they have to die
She
right
was
now.
fucking ready for it.
Yeah,
Oh,
she was prepped. Her psychic warned her about it, and she's like, "Okay, any day now, I gotta be ready." What? These freaking little
Yeah.
demons are gonna show up at my house.
Shout out to the mom from Gremlins.
Yeah.
I don't know what I thought Gremlins was about.
Gremlins is a fucking amazing movie because it's one of the classic 80s movies where it's for kids, but it'll scare the shit out of some kids.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yes, classic. Oh yeah.
Yeah. I believe it's one of the things that contributed to the PG-13.
Would that have been PG-13 if that was a rating?
Almost definitely, yeah.
Probably, yeah.
'Cause there-
I think
there's
the
some-
big I think the big reason for the PG-13 rating was Temple of Doom.
Yeah. I've got it on the Wikipedia right here. Yeah, it mentions it and it and Temple of Doom both came out in they both came out in 84 and probably scared the shit out of some kids.
Yeah.
Also, shout out to the end of Gremlins, where like, you know, it's a monster movie about monsters fucking shit up, and at the end, the gremlin just like pulls out a gun.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's hilarious. Like, yeah, he's a monster, but also, you know, he's got a gun. like if at the end of Jurassic Park, like the fucking raptor, like just like pulled out a fucking shotgun, like
clever girl.
Yeah, be great.
I'm kind of behind in movies apparently.
You and me both, sister.
Guess what? We watched RoboCop.
Yeah.
Boy.
87.
Hell yeah, we did.
87. 3 years after Gremlins.
3 years after Gremlins. Big year, 1987. I don't know what else came out in 1987, but
Moonstruck.
Moonstruck came out in 87.
I need to make that one.
I need to make a timeline of when all these movies came out. Not that it would benefit,
Ooh.
but I think
it would be a fun infographic to just post on Twitter every now and then.
Yeah.
Evil Dead 2 was 87.
Oh my god, that's one of my all-time favorite movies.
Spaceballs, Predator.
Ooh.
Some bangers.
Harry and the Hendersons.
Oh.
Great movie.
87's a fucking great year.
Superman 4. Not
okay,
great.
that's bad.
The Running Man with Schwarzenegger.
Wow, Schwarzenegger had Predator and The Running Man in the same year?
Yeah.
That's dope.
Hellraiser 1 came out in 87.
Full Metal Jacket, Lost Boys, Raising
Boys.
Arizona.
Adventures in Babysitting was also 87.
Great movie.
Teen Wolf 2, but not TWO or the number 2. It was TOO, like he's also a Teen Wolf.
Oh, Michael J. Fox.
And it wasn't Michael J. Fox, it was Jason Bateman. And instead of playing basketball, he was a boxer.
Oh.
Fuck Teen Wolf 2, dude.
Big news on The Notebook. So a couple weeks ago, I said I forgot it at school. I didn't. It got stuck between a couple other things on my floor. Because I rolled over it with my desk chair and I was like, why the hell is there paper on the floor? It was The Notebook. So I just stapled in the notes from last week, so it's okay. No no errors in
Excellent.
in the timeline.
Excellent.
No discrepancies.
No discrepancy, thank you. Words are hard. RoboCop was released July 17th, 1987. Budget of $13.7 million, box office of $53.4 million. It won the special achievement for the best sound editing at the Academy Awards. However, it did not win for best sound editing. It just got a special achievement. And it was the most nominated film at the Saturn Awards. It won 5 out of the 8 awards nomination thingies, including best science fiction film.
Okay, wait. So I'm surprised that this movie got nominated for best sound editing. Did you guys notice how much of this movie's fucking ADR'd?
Yeah. And how many times they played that same lion roar sound for Ed 209? like over and over and over again.
So the reason there's so much ADR in this movie is because they at the beginning of shooting, they had to install an air conditioner in the suit for
I'll get to
RoboCop.
that.
Makes sense.
And so it's just, I just imagine being on set and that shit's loud as fuck.
Best sound
Just
editing.
blown out.
Peter Weller, not a fan of the suit. He struggled.
I would imagine.
He struggled to adapt to it. He had like a mime teacher. The mime teacher, he had to like relearn everything because the suit wasn't like how he practiced. So him. And his
so
mime-
initially the idea was that RoboCop was gonna have like really quick movements with like hard stops, and they got him in the suit, and it was immediately obvious that was gonna be completely impossible. Yeah. And so they had to like negotiate with this mime. Who's like I get like he's like the director of movement at Juilliard is his thing.
We don't negotiate with mimes.
Yeah, but Peter Weller essentially had to like call the guy up personally and ask him for a favor to come down, and he came up with the reason RoboCop moves the way he does like so hard and stuff is that like it's essentially Peter Weller throwing the weight of the suit and using that to do the movements because the suit was way too heavy.
It looks like a pretty cumbersome suit to wear.
Yeah.
They also shot it in Dallas, Texas, in the middle of the summer.
Yeah. So he couldn't really
that
see.
Sucks.
He also couldn't really see through the visor, and he couldn't really grab things with the gloves as well. And I did read at some point that he got fired, but because the suit was specially made, they had to bring him back on, and like he had to make up with the director.
Somebody call Peter. They'll apologize. He's the only person who can fit in the damn costume.
Yeah. Well, yeah, it was an extremely like terrible time for Paul Verhoeven, the director, too, because this is his first American movie. So he had come over here. He didn't want to make RoboCop. Like he was sent the script for RoboCop. He read it and was like, it's a movie called RoboCop. Like, this is dog shit. And then his wife read it and convinced him to do it because of like the more like subtle things that he could do with it. And so when he showed up and immediately things start going wrong and they're way behind budget and like, you know, everything's getting pushed down because the suit doesn't fucking work. And like RoboCop can't get in and out of a car with the suit on.
I read that he, in the scenes in the car, he was just in his underwear and then the top half of the suit.
They would film him about to get into a car, cut. Film him
getting all the way
out. Yeah.
Yeah. There's a you guys might have heard about it. There's a feature length, or it's just a remake of the movie called Our RoboCop Remake, where people could sign up for individual pieces of the movie and remake them. There's one that's a very infamous clip from that, which I won't spoil for anybody, but look up the Fatal Farm Our RoboCop Remake clip. It's great. It's the scene where RoboCop saves that woman in the alleyway, or not in the alleyway, the parking lot. But then in their version, when RoboCop goes and gets back into the car, they play it like they leave it running and he's just like struggling to get in the car. It's so great. You can just hear the costume going and he's like just trying to get into this car. It's fantastic. I highly recommend it.
That's the one scene that I saw from this movie before seeing this movie. Yeah. I say scene from this movie.
That clip's been shared so much. Aaron didn't want to spoil it. I will. It is just like 5 solid minutes of RoboCop shooting dudes in the dick.
Yeah. Yeah. It's so good.
So good. And I rewatched it. Yeah. Still good. With him then the filming in Dallas and getting the air conditioning, they had to install it also because he was losing up to 3 pounds a day from just sweating.
Yeah.
Dang.
And just all the water and everything. Yeah. Dehydration.
Like they had to set up a bunch of stuff to make sure that Peter Weller didn't die on set.
Yeah. Oh my god.
The trauma team trying to save Murphy was a real trauma team, and they were just mostly ad-libbing.
Oh, hey, that's cool.
Look at that.
That part of the movie is so fucking funny. Like,
he gets shot so many times and shot in the head, and they're just like, let's do what we can, I guess.
Well, it's an extension of one of the funniest bits in the movie, which is when Ed 209 just unloads into the one dude in the office, and then can somebody get a paramedic?
Yeah, I laugh so hard, and then they're like, don't touch him, and I'm like, yeah, don't want him to die, I guess. Just like probably like the biggest rounds of all time. He's just laying there, not moving, just squibs going off like crazy. Dude died a while ago.
So good.
It's 20 minutes into the movie too, and I knew it was going to be a graphic movie, but I was like, oh, okay, now I know what I'm about to watch.
RoboCop is over the top violent, like it literally to the point of parody.
And there's a couple different versions. Like there's the theatrical version, and then there's like a unrated. Some people have called it a rated X version because there's like so much violence. It was rated X. When Paul Verhoeven turned over the first copy of the first edit of the film, it was given an X rating. And I mean, there's one pair of boobs that you see in this movie. There's no sex or anything. It was all pure violence. They were like, okay, no, we gotta, and that's actually why they added more of like the TV stuff to the movie. Right.
Was because a lot of the violence and stuff was supposed to be like comedy. like over like when Ed 209 shooting the guy over and over again. Like it starts off like, oh my God, and then eventually becomes really funny because it just keeps happening. They had to cut so much of the violence down that they were like, oh, this isn't funny anymore. Like this is a disturbing fucking movie now.
Yeah.
So they added in all like the TV stuff later in reshoots. At least most of it.
I'll buy that for $1. If for whatever reason, and I don't want them to make another RoboCop remake, but if they ever remake RoboCop again, I want to campaign so hard to be the I'll buy that for $1 guy. I want to be that guy. I'll buy that for $1. Just laughs like an idiot.
Great stuff.
I want to be that guy.
Well, you're in luck because Amazon Studios bought the rights to make a direct sequel and a TV series.
This is my chance.
This is your chance.
Movie studio. This is what you say, Amazon? Amazon, I implore you, please make me a person you've never heard of or seen on screens anywhere. I'll buy that for $1 guy, please. I implore you.
The campaign starts now.
The campaign starts now.
Here we go.
They gotta stop remaking RoboCop. They gotta stop making RoboCop sequels because it's very obvious that like once you get past the first movie that nobody understands what RoboCop is supposed to be. Like they remade RoboCop and it wasn't rated R. It's like the number one thing about RoboCop.
Yeah, you got if for whatever reason they did like or for this show, it's gotta be like The Boys level of like crazy. Like they really gotta go like full tilt into that.
What's the point of making a movie that's very critical of corporations like Amazon that are invested in every single aspect of your life and gentrifying and destroying all these businesses and taking over your cities when it's fucking made by the bad guy of the movie?
Yeah, legit. Maybe as a publicity stunt, they'll send the guy in the RoboCop outfit with a live firearm into the Amazon studios and just see what happens.
The company that's trying to make drones like fly around your neighborhoods and stuff, like, oh yeah, them making a movie about how putting drones in neighborhoods is bad.
Dude, awesome. I'd love to see a scene of RoboCop shooting drones out of the sky, though. That'd be sweet.
That'd be dope.
That'd be cool.
My final fun fact in the facts and figures, the scene of the guy being melted at the end
I love that part.
That was almost cut, but it was saved by the test audiences because it was the highest rated scene.
Yeah, it was. Help me! Don't touch me, man! And then he gets hit by the car and he just turns into liquid. Yeah. So great.
I got another fact for you, Mac.
Okay, hit me.
So the budget of this movie is astronomically low. So 13.5 million is what you said, Makenna?
Yep.
Moonstruck, which we covered on this podcast, came out same year, made at the same time, had a budget of $15 million.
Yes.
So this high concept sci-fi action movie had a smaller budget than just a movie about Cher trying to find somebody to marry. And then because of all the drama with the suit and stuff, that's literally set shooting back days, which is like just so bad for your movie. Like you have to pay everybody to be there every day, whether you're shooting or not. They were like way behind on their budget. They got to the point where they couldn't finish the movie with the amount of budget they had left. So Paul Verhoeven, amazing guy, very smartly chose what parts of the movie not to shoot. They got everything done except for one scene, which is the scene where everybody kills Murphy.
Yep. They filmed that after production was done.
Yeah. So he hands over the movie to Orion and is like, hey, movie's done. We got it in under budget. One little problem, though. The most important scene in the movie where the audience finds out why Murphy's RoboCop, we don't have that in the movie. So you can either pay us to make that part of the movie, we can shoot that scene, or you can just release it in complete film. Your choice.
Also, Another fun fact: Paul Verhoeven only referred to all the actors as their characters' names while they filmed the movie.
I saw that.
That was actually mostly Peter Weller's request, because Peter Weller is a method actor, and Peter Weller insisted on being called either Murphy or Robo, which apparently Kurtwood Smith was like, "Yeah, go fuck yourself. I'm not doing that."
Yeah.
But yeah, and then Paul Verhoeven, weird fucking dude. So
great. Apparently, so you know how in Philadelphia there's the Rocky statue?
Yes.
I guess for years it's been in the works that Detroit is getting a RoboCop statue, and it's like almost done, or they're trying to figure out a place to put it. And if that's true, forget the Rocky statue, dude. I'm going to the RoboCop statue. Granted, it will involve me having to go to Detroit, but you know, whatever, that's fine.
Well, Aaron, guess what? Now, we haven't talked about this probably in the new year, but we have a road trip, okay? There's a road trip.
Makenna, I think that's mostly been the new year thing, hasn't it?
Has it?
I feel like we've been talking about it a lot this year.
It may have been. I don't know. This has been a long year. There's like been 10 years in the last 5 months. We're going all over the place. I don't really remember everywhere we're going, but we'll go.
I believe we started this in November of last year with the Matt Batson episode. Armageddon, yeah.
We're going to space first.
Going to space first.
Right.
Mm-hmm. And then...
What a way to kick it off. How do you drive to space?
I don't know.
Is it like it's like a ferry where you drive into the spaceship and they shoot you into the air?
Yeah.
Honestly, the rest of the trip is gonna kind of be a letdown once you've already been in space.
Right.
Like you're gonna be going to like the Emily Dickinson house.
You guys are just gonna go into space and stay there for a full rotation so you can tell everyone you've been around the world.
Oh my god. Yeah. We're doing it.
That's one way to do it. Probably be more expensive than a normal road trip, but you never know. Taxpayers will pay for it.
Oh,
doesn't matter.
It's fine. And so yeah, we'll go see the RoboCop statue. Our pilgrimage to the RoboCop statue.
Sweet.
That's our religious experience in life.
Put a little framed photo of me in a flower down so people will think that I died. And so then if they see that, they'll think I died and they won't take it away. So
they'll also think you died in something RoboCop related.
Yeah, exactly. RoboCop killed me.
Oh no. Yeah, we'll do that with our road trip.
Mac.
Yeah.
What'd you think of RoboCop?
Oh, it was amazing.
Yeah, it was.
It was great.
So good.
There's so much explosions and fire and
blood.
This movie is so close to being fucking terrible.
It really is.
Like so many scenes in this movie are like on their face fucking hilarious because of how they're made. Like the scene of RoboCop walking through a suburban house. Doesn't look like a future house. Just looks like a normal fucking house.
And having flashbacks to his old life where his wife's like, I have to tell you something. I love you. And then he's flashing back. And then at the end, he punches that TV.
Like, it's just, it looks so bad. Him in this
It really does.
Like, now that like the movie's been released in HD and stuff, like the first time I saw this movie was on VHS on a fucking CRT TV. I thought the RoboCop suit looked fucking amazing. Now when I watch it in fucking HD 4K and it's like, oh, that's very obviously a plastic suit.
Yeah, or like there's a scene where he's sitting like this and he has his arm up and you can see like the plastic part of the arm and then a big hole where you can see fabric.
And he's just walking around just a normal fucking house. Just like
and it's perfectly clean except for like one thing of flowers like fell over and got the carpet dirty. But the guy's like, make me an offer, buy this house.
RoboCop, like he just drives like a shitty Ford Taurus.
Yeah, and it's like painted matte black.
Yeah, all the everything in this movie looks.
Go ahead. Yeah, exactly.
Every single thing.
Yeah, it's not great. I also love the little subtle thing of Murphy being like, yeah, my son loves this show called TJ Laser, and he spins his gun around. And he's like, he says all good cops have to be able to do that. And then after he becomes RoboCop, he's always spinning his firearm and putting it back. So dumb, but it's so great at the same time.
So now's my time to talk about the Family Ties connection in this movie. There is Manson, one of the police officers. He's played by a man named Edward Edwards, who is in technically 2 episodes of Family Ties. He was a voice on a voice recorder, and then he was like a teacher in another episode. Let me tell you what, me staring at this RoboCop scene, like that scene where he's like introduced, like Manson's introduced or whatever, I'm like, I know him from some. He's probably in this like big movie, and I'm not. Nah, he's in 1 episode of Family Ties in like the 2nd season. Mr. Tedesco, he's a dick. That's okay.
Great find, Makenna, because when you look up Edward Edwards, the actor's not the first thing that comes up.
He's not.
There is a serial killer from Ohio named Edward Edwards.
Your move, creep.
Who is like, I don't know, I'm gonna read this Wikipedia. Apparently this dude like escaped from prison and stuff. Like
I didn't read
this seems like a fun read.
Oh yeah.
Did he escape from prison while driving around a 6000 SUX?
Perhaps.
Like in RoboCop?
Like the fancy car, and it's just like a normal fucking car.
Yeah, and it's called the 6000 Sucks. Like, why is it called that? Is it because like SUV was already a thing?
What?
I don't know.
Honestly, probably. Like so much of this movie is just like Paul Verhoeven making fun of American consumer culture.
Right. Mm-hmm.
And so to be like, yeah, it's the fucking this car sucks. Seems like it's also like Paul Verhoeven. I think he's a fantastic director, but he's also like not at all subtle. Like this is the dude who made Starship Troopers and fucking Showgirls. Like he loves just being bold and stupid.
Yeah.
And so yeah, I can 100% believe them being like, yeah, the 6000 SUX, it sucks.
Yeah, only people who suck drive the car in the movie, the bad guys. So
gross.
Clarence and then that other guy drive one, and then the only other person who wanted one of those was that guy who was holding up the mayor's office. So maybe it was a commentary on people who are dumb drive expensive cars. I don't know.
Weird bit. Just editing. If they ever re-edit RoboCop, here's my notes for you, Paul. We get the 6000 SUX commercial after we get it name dropped for the first time when the guy's trying to kill the mayor.
Mm-hmm.
That it should be one of the first commercials we see because it's Otherwise, when you mention it, it's not like funny.
Yeah, it should be in the place of the Nukem commercial.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Swap those. Just when you do your re-edit of RoboCop, just take my notes into account. Swap those 2 commercials.
Yeah, I can make that happen. It won't be official, but I got it. We'll figure it out.
We'll put out the
2023
the Aaron and Jose cut.
The commercial swap cut. The commercialism cut.
The news intro to them like doing their news reports, they should make more intros like that again, where it's just an extreme close up of the anchors' faces. They should bring that back.
And like it does like the tile thing where it's
bring
just
back
their
the
faces.
tile.
Reminded me a lot of the Dark Knight Returns comic book.
I imagine
they do a lot of new stuff.
Dark Knight Returns would have been like right after this, right?
Probably, yeah. It might not have even been out. I don't know, but
I want to say that's late 80s. 86.
Yeah.
Wow, so
86, so the year before.
Wow.
Also, I think that the script was written. I don't think it was written as a Dredd project, but I think it was heavily inspired by Judge Dredd because the dudes who wrote it are big fans.
So the inspiration for this movie, I'm sure Judge Dredd has a huge amount of because the 3000 AD had been kicking around for quite a while at that point, was pretty popular. The inspiration from the movie came from 2 things. One, a dude was just working on a script called Super Cop, right? The other thing is that the main writer and producer of this movie saw the poster for the movie Blade Runner and was like, oh, that looks cool. Like Harrison Ford, I like him. We're like, what's this movie about? And they're like, oh, it's about a cop who catches robots. And he's like, I got a movie for you. Movie about a robot.
I'll do you one better.
About a robot cop who catches regular people.
I'll do a movie called RoboCop, but he's not a robot or a cop. He's a cyborg and also kind of a cop. He's part man, part machine, all cop.
That's the tagline.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
I'd watch that. I think RoboCop's kind of scary. I kind of got scared.
A little bit.
The stomps?
There's definitely some
Terrifying.
like body horror stuff in it.
It's
Yeah.
like he's not even on screen, and you still hear him like stomping around like a dinosaur in the background. Like, oh, he's coming. It's scary.
Yeah, Makenna's talking about RoboCop himself, not the movie. She's like, RoboCop himself is scary,
RoboCop.
Like-
which is kind of true.
Like honestly, we talked about this with like when we did the Batman, but like Peter Weller's like got some like similarities to Robert Pattinson and how good he is at acting with just his mouth.
Yeah.
Like in like the scenes where like he's like having his like nightmare dream thing, or when he's trying to arrest the bad guy for the first time, he starts shutting down, and like he doesn't look like a dude who's like having a problem. He looks like an organic machine that is like getting fucked up. Like the things he's doing with his mouth are like scary.
You know what's really funny? You bring up the Batman, and I mentioned Dark Knight Returns, and we're talking about RoboCop with Peter Weller. In the animated Dark Knight Returns movie, Peter Weller plays Batman in that, and he's fantastic in it.
Everything is connected.
Wow.
Everything's connected.
Oh my
All ties
god.
together.
Okay. Now let me tell you what.
Tell me what.
The
Tell me
end
what.
of this movie.
It just fucking ends.
Dude, oh my god,
thank
I love it.
Oh my god.
What's your
okay.
name? Murphy.
RoboCop.
I laughed so hard
I
when
thought-
watching it. I'm like, it just fucking ends, I guess.
I was doing a puzzle. My puzzle is here in the corner there. And my screen is here. And I would wasn't I kept going back and forth, and it ends, and I was like, hold on a second. Did I
Did I miss something?
miss something? Because
Movies used to just fucking end. Like I think we talked about this with when we did The Fly. I think I brought this up, which is like you get to The
The Fly just
Fly.
ends, too.
The Fly literally they killed Jeff Goldblum and then the movie fucking ends.
Yep.
1986.
When we did that review, I split it up over 2 days where it got to the part where it was a showdown with Jeff Goldblum. I was like, it's late at night. I'm gonna save this for the morning. Paused it, turned it off. Came on. 3 minutes of movie left.
That's awesome.
Fucking ends.
Oh, that's great.
Well, okay.
I have a pitch for a more extended ending for RoboCop. So it's he like that guy Dick gets fired, and then RoboCop's like, "Thank you," and then he shoots him, and he falls out the window. He's got his big long claymation arms. Ah! He dies, and then he starts walking away, and they're like, "What's your name, officer?" And he's like, "Murphy." And then it cuts to him walking through the building, and all the cops are clapping and cheering for him. And then it takes him 10 minutes to get into a cop car. Because it's going to be the thing where he gets to the cop car and then drives up the ramp. And then it's one final thing of him driving. It's going to go while he's driving. But it's just, he's trying to get in the car. And as he's getting in the car is when the credits start rolling. While it's still playing and he's trying to get in the car. I need to find somebody with a RoboCop costume and put out a video called RoboCop alternate ending and just film that.
How much is a RoboCop?
Let's find a RoboCop costume. When we go to Vegas, I'll play RoboCop and you can film me struggling to get into a car.
I'm in.
How good do you want the RoboCop costume?
I think the crappier the better, honestly.
Yeah.
That might be funnier.
Perfect. Okay,
because you can probably find a padded, cushiony one. I'm guessing.
Found a single good one, so I'm glad you said that. Ooh,
I could probably find a really good one, but I found a $50 one at Walmart.com.
Oh,
Hell
there
yeah.
you go.
That's what you need.
Yeah, that's what we want. It's honestly it's not bad.
That's the budget we're working with here.
Yeah.
If we have a 3D printer, we could get the files.
Oh, I have a friend with a 3D printer.
Oh.
Maybe he can help out.
He can print out a
Yeah,
RoboCop.
because I feel like having the big cumbersome printed pieces is gonna make it super funny. Because if it's just a padded costume, you're not gonna hear all those sounds.
You need the sounds.
Yeah.
So, okay, tell me which movie I'm thinking of, because I thought
RoboCop.
it was RoboCop, but but it's not, because this is
Okay.
another reason why the ending surprised me. What movie is it where... Wait, let me draw a picture. Hold on. I'll draw it on the back of here. Okay. Because I can't... Okay. Oh, hold on. He's like this, and then he's like... Oh, wait, I already messed it up. Well, okay, please hold. Hold on.
Please hold.
Okay, yeah, you work on this. I'm gonna
Thank you.
like, so the movie ends so abruptly. It literally doesn't wrap up several plot points in the movie.
Mhm.
Like what's going on with this new city? Like, what's going on with that? Did we solve the crime problem? They have
to build a brand new model because that dead guy ruined it, and that was the only one they had. So they have to just replan the whole city.
Like so the Ed 209 project's not going to happen. They're not going to make more RoboCops. Like, or will they? What's going to happen in the future of this movie of this world?
We'll never know, because they never make a sequel ever.
The lady cop doesn't even like get a character arc or anything, really.
Yeah, she was just there to help him, and then just once he walks into the building again, that's it. That's all we got.
She does blow up fucking Leland Palmer from Twin Peaks, which is great.
Yeah, that's true.
Okay, I finished my drawing. So I messed up the first one. I accidentally drew him with 2 knees, but this one, okay.
Do you look like this?
Yeah, that's so good. Oh my god, that's so much better than what I'm about to show you. So he's like this. Do you know what I mean? Oh, hold on.
Wait a minute.
What?
I don't know if we can show that. I don't know if we can show that. Blur that out.
But he's like kneeling on the ground with 1 knee, and like his fist is on the ground, and he's looking down. What movie is that from? Because I thought it was RoboCop, and I was waiting for the scene the entire time.
Wait, so you talking about like
could be the remake of RoboCop?
Like a superhero landing type thing?
Well, at this point, I don't really know. He like jumps down. He comes from the top of the screen and goes into the ground.
Is it Hellboy?
Yeah, that's like every superhero movie.
Yeah, that's very vague. That scene where the guy's on 1 knee with his fist into the ground, that's many movies.
Are you thinking of Iron Man?
No, I've seen that one.
It's literally the king, like the like straight up Iron Man.
Oh, maybe I am. I might be.
Oh, man.
Oh, that's my second. Okay, so let me tell you a story about what happened to me earlier today.
Okay.
So, this has nothing to do with RoboCop, but I'm going to tell it anyway.
Good.
So,
go for it.
We were outside cleaning up the backyard, the back patio, whatnot, and I had gone to put shoes on, but I hadn't worn these particular shoes in a while, so there was like cobwebs in it, so I'd switched shoes to these new shoes, and my sister was inside. And I had switched onto these new shoes, cleaned off these shoes, put on these new shoes, and like we went out back. And my sister was like, she didn't close the garage door. And I was like, did you close the garage door? She goes, no, you came in behind me. And I was like, no, I didn't. And she was like, yeah, you did. I saw you go into the bathroom. And I was like, I did not go into the house. I think I would know if I went into the house. I know I didn't go into the house. Turns out I went into the house, and I just didn't remember. I went to get toilet paper to clean off my shoes, and I completely forgot. My sister, we almost got into a yelling match over whether or not I went into the house, and I would be on the losing side of this. And I was the person in question. But anyway, that was what happened to me today. So I not go track record today.
Another quick sidetrack. This is RoboCop related.
Ooh.
Brandon, have you ever seen the clips of RoboCop on WCW?
Yeah.
Yeah. So 2 days ago was the 33-year anniversary when that happened, when he came out to help Sting.
Yeah,
when
RoboCop
Capital Combat.
At a WCW pay-per-view and helped out in the match and couldn't fucking move.
Sting was in a shark cage and RoboCop ripped the cage wall off. It was awesome.
Now, is this Sting from the Police?
No.
Or a different Sting?
No.
So Sting, so this was before this, but in WCW, Sting used to look like the Crow. Like the movie The Crow. But before that, he kind of looked like a surfer guy. So then he also, back in those times, he kind of looked like Sting the musician, which might have been why he did the whole crow thing, but I don't know.
Well, he was originally in a tag team with another dude with face paint on his. I can't remember what their tag team was called, but
I'm on it.
Oh, I have seen this guy before.
Yeah.
He kind of.
I believe actually the musician Sting has to pay royalties to the wrestler Sting for the use of the name Sting.
Dang, that's awesome.
That's good. Yeah.
The Blade Runners. Sting was in a tag team called the Blade Runners.
That's cool. That's cool.
Yeah. They're supposed to be like a new wave kind of thing, so that's why he had face paint on. And then face paint just became like his gimmick. So when they tried to when they were competing with they're trying to make it more darker and stuff. Yeah, they made him they just
ripped the crow off.
Straight up made him the crow.
So sick, dude.
Yeah.
To this day, I've never seen The Crow, but I watched so much wrestling, it's not even funny.
Dope flick.
Okay. It's on the list.
I need to talk about RoboCop's knife hand.
Dude, so sick.
Well, I guess spike hand.
Well, it's not a knife hand or a spike hand. It's basically a USB sharp knife thing.
That's why I want to talk about it. Because when did they install the RoboCop interface into all of these computers? Like, why are all these computers built with a mechanism to interact entirely with RoboCop alone? That apparently these things have existed since before RoboCop was made.
Yeah, maybe everybody has like an ice pick that they just plug into the wall.
But like he controls it with his brain, like he can tell the computer what to do.
Turning it around, yeah. I don't know. It's wild.
I love 80s technology.
Me too.
Like that's wild, and then like I don't know for some reason like the technology like the computer in Blade Runner. Incense. Like,
yeah, the shitty computer in Blade Runner with all the cameras apparently have just like a billion. Just like you can zoom into a picture, just like all you want.
Yeah, I love movies like RoboCop where they're like, oh, hey, this is futuristic technology, but it's still on like crappy square monitors and stuff like that. And everything is like a green grid and it just has like strings of text that go as they type out. Yes. I love that too.
So good. Oh, that's how I know it's going to be a good movie. When you get the it's good shit. I also just I don't remember if I said this earlier. I can't remember what I've said.
You said RoboCop was scary.
RoboCop was scary. I got scared. I also found out I have a fear of crabs now, but anyway, that has nothing to do with RoboCop. I love the gas station blow up. Let me tell you what, love a fire. I don't want fire bad, but fire good. And this was good fire. Did you see that?
That's some good fire.
That was like a Fortnite when you blow up a gas station.
Yeah,
it was going on.
Also,
awesome.
RoboCop is like my go-to skin in Fortnite. So maybe that's why I'm always blowing up the gas station. It's a secret subliminal homage to RoboCop.
I didn't realize RoboCop was in Fortnite.
Dude, I play as him all the time.
Oh my god, not robot.
I play as RoboCop, and then I put a Ghostbusters proton pack on him.
Yo.
Yeah. I'm a dork.
Oh my god, he's so cool. Oh.
I think it's dumb that there's a Terminator in Fortnite that doesn't look like Arnold Schwarzenegger. It's just the skeleton, but we have RoboCop. And there was a season where people could turn into liquid metal, and the Terminator from Terminator 2 wasn't in there. Doesn't make any sense.
Yeah,
doesn't make any sense to me.
Haven't seen.
Yeah, I would play as what's his name? Who's the actor who played?
What is that guy's name?
The T-1000. Robert Patrick.
That's it.
I would fucking play as Robert Patrick in Fortnite.
Dude, his pickaxe could just mold, like his arm could mold into it. And
I wouldn't use any of that. I would just play as fucking Robert Patrick in a cop costume.
That'd be great.
He was in The Sopranos, apparently.
Oh, he's in lots of stuff. Robert Patrick's fucking awesome.
He is. Long filmography thing.
There's a scene in Terminator 2 where John Connor's getting away on a motorcycle, and he's like driving his motorcycle through the thing, and the Terminator's supposed to like chase after him, and they kept having to reshoot it because Robert Patrick was faster than the motorcycle, and he kept like catching up to it.
That's awesome.
Oh, I know who this guy is in The Sopranos. I'm just going back to Sopranos. Always got to talk about
RoboCop's gun. RoboCop's gun is fucking awesome.
So
Dude,
cool.
it's so cool, but then the scene later, because like it looks like a big gun when RoboCop's holding it, but then when that woman cop gives it to him, it's so big. She's like, here's your firearm.
RoboCop is like 7 feet tall.
Yeah,
like,
he's huge.
That's something I didn't remember from the movie. When he walks into the police station for the first time, he's fucking huge.
Yeah, he's massive.
I didn't remember that. Like RoboCop's gun's got to be like top 5 all-time sci-fi guns.
Oh, it's so cool. It's
like off the top of my head,
huge.
Off the top of my head, I think I would put it at number 3 because I would have Deckard's gun from Blade Runner.
Okay,
Deckard's gun from Blade Runner, number 1. It's awesome. Number 2, I would probably go the pulse rifles from Aliens.
Okay,
those are fucking sick. RoboCop's gun. What are some other like dope sci-fi weapons?
Does the power loader from Alien count?
Sure, that's fucking awesome.
I'm saying that.
Aliens is sick. It's a good
movie.
Yeah,
it is.
Maybe like some of the Halo guns are fucking cool too.
Yeah.
Ooh, the noisy cricket from Men in Black.
Yeah, the noisy cricket from Men in Black. I was just gonna say.
Pretty sick.
I don't know any guns.
Han Solo's blaster.
Ooh.
Oh, Han Solo's blaster is a classic. Yeah, that'd have to be up there. It's good.
Harrison Ford, good guns.
Harrison Ford has been known to rock a fucking sick gun in a movie.
Mm-hmm.
Indiana Jones, cool gun too.
There we go.
True. I don't know if this would necessarily count as sci-fi, but the Samaritan from Hellboy. Like Hellboy's just gigantic pistol he has.
Yeah. Okay.
So cool.
I'm a big Hellboy fan. Mal's gun from Firefly.
Or like a phaser from Star Trek.
No, the phasers suck.
They're all right.
I don't like the phasers at all. I'm a big Star Trek fan. I think the phasers fucking suck.
Yeah, they're all right.
They look like a fucking cell phone.
Well, especially like when they start like in the Abrams ones where like when they switch from stun to kill, the little section just flips around.
Yeah.
Just kind of looks like a toy.
Pew. Pew pew.
Pew pew.
Pew pew.
Pew pew.
I'm a gun.
Pew pew pew.
Pew pew pew. Brandon,
Yeah.
do you have any final thoughts on the Robot Cop? Cop of
I really do want to emphasize how close this movie is to being a piece of garbage.
Yeah.
Like so many things in this movie are like they look terrible, they're objectively silly. Like it's very easy that you could watch this movie as like just one of the countless garbage movies that came out of the 80s era, like fucking Orca or like any of those movies.
Yeah.
And the reason it's not is that all the people involved just knew that they were making something that was objectively trash and they didn't care and they just made the best movie that they could anyway. Like
true.
Paul Verhoeven was making a movie called fucking RoboCop. And he's like, what if I just put all of my like ideas about like how bad American consumer culture is, adding in all this stuff about like all the commercials and stuff that just like immediately puts you into a world where it's just like, this is like the conclusion of Reagan's America, is the peace platform accidentally murdering thousands of people and nuclear war being just like a casual thing that they have board games of. And like all the things that are good about this movie aren't the cool stuff on the surface, like watching Murphy get shot 1,000,000 times, which would just be like a shitty scene. Like this movie gives you massive hobo with a shotgun vibes at every moment. And there's just this underlying of a very smart movie underneath that makes it like really good.
And you know, there's definitely some parts where rewatching it, it's like, okay, get back to RoboCop because like sometimes Kurtwood Smith as Clarence Boddicker is fantastic. All the other guys in like the gang are fine, but after a while I'm like, okay, get back to the RoboCop. I want to see RoboCops more. Also, I love that people are calling him Robo for short. I'm like, just call him RoboCop, man.
Anytime Kurtwood Smith's on screen, it's just fucking brilliant.
So great.
They just let him just act his ass off in this movie.
Bitches
just let
leave.
him run wild. When he drops his fingers in the wine and snorts it. Like, what fucking decision is that you made as an actor where you're like, I'm going to do this? Who cares? It's like they just let the actors do whatever they wanted, and all the actors just like they just cared to make interesting decisions the entire time. Which is like normally when you get a movie called RoboCop, you don't have a bunch of people being like, okay, I'm gonna just fucking method act RoboCop.
Yeah. Also, another thing that I love about this movie is like they set up the Ed 209 like in that scene where it kills that guy to be like, oh, this thing is like insane, basically. I mean, obviously it's machinery, but it's like this thing is like super powerful. It's gonna be crazy. It just walk down a flight of stairs, you're fine. It just falls over and just goes and swings its arms around. And then at the end of the movie, there's another one stationed outside. RoboCop gets out of the car and he's like, oh, hey, here's that big giant sniper rifle that everyone had like one scene before that. I'm just going to shoot it twice and walk into the building without any pushback by any other police.
That's so Paul Verhoeven.
Oh,
like,
yeah.
If you haven't seen any of his movies, like he just can't bring himself to make that kind of stuff look cool or like intimidating at all. Like he has so much disdain for that type of like big industrialized warfare shit that he's like, yeah, it can't walk down fucking stairs. It sucks. It blows up as soon as you shoot it once. It's terrible. It's like there's all that stuff in like the dude made Starship Troopers. And just made it objectively a film about how much Nazis suck. And everybody watched it and was like, don't know what that movie's about. I don't know. Like,
I had a drunk guy in my hometown one time tell me, he's like, if you don't like Starship Troopers, you can get the fuck out of America. And I was like, okay, dude. Yeah. All right.
No, I
like
agree.
Starship Troopers, so I'm fine.
Awesome.
Yeah, it's great.
Starship Troopers fucking rules.
Shout out to Casper Van Dien.
Aaron, do you have any final
thoughts?
Hi. Do you have any final thoughts?
Saying hi to Aaron an hour into the podcast.
I'm a figment of Makenna's imagination. Final thoughts on RoboCop. Everybody needs to see RoboCop at least once. If you watch it and you're like, I don't really like RoboCop, I get it. I'll probably not talk to you again, but that's fine. Like what you want. But I think RoboCop's cool. I'm going to show this to a ton of people probably throughout the rest of my life because it's very weird, but it also has like a ton of the stuff that I like. It's got weird like stop motion stuff. It's got action. It's got robots. It's from the 80s. It's got an awesome score. It's just got so many things that I really love. And it's just bonkers. And it's so good.
Everyone needs to watch RoboCop. I watched RoboCop because of you. Here we are.
Heck yeah, we're gonna do the remake.
I'm so excited. Aaron, where can people find you on the internet if they want to find you on the internet?
People can find me on Twitter at AaronRoots427, Instagram at AaronRoots427, TikTok at AaronRoots427. Pretty much type AaronRoots427 anywhere. You'll probably find me. I don't recommend trying to spell my full last name because it's very long and very dumb. I like Roots better. So who knows? Maybe one day we'll legally change that. But I'm also on YouTube. You could probably, just go to my social media, copy my first and last name, throw that into YouTube. You'll probably find my stuff. But I'm everywhere, man. I see everything. So if you want to hit me up and talk to me about RoboCop, please do, because RoboCop rules.
Hell yeah. Brandon, where can people find you on the internet?
People can find me at Miami Heat on Twitter.
They destroyed the Celtics.
Fucking Jimmy Butler, the best basketball player in the fucking world right now. Cross it off.
Crossed it off.
Yeah! We did it! Look at that. Let's go. If I had
I don't know who I'm hitting next, but we'll figure it out.
If you want to follow the show, you can follow the show on Twitter at HBO Max, HBO MAKS, on the YouTube, on all your favorite platforms for the audio podcast. That's what they're called. Comment, like, subscribe, hit the bell. Brandon, what should people comment this week?
The three prime directives. The prime directives.
Give us your best three prime directives.
Pop quiz. What are the three prime directives of RoboCop?
Oh, I might be wrong. Is it the uphold the law thing?
Yeah.
Is it the
That's the last one.
Shit. That's the last one?
That's the third one, yeah. I mean, there's technically a secret fourth one, but we don't that's extra credit.
Uphold the law. Make sure the city is safe.
And always wash your hands.
No.
Yeah, so this week, just comment what the three prime directives of HBO Max are.
There it is. Perfect.
Yes.
It's like, get off topic. Forget to introduce the show.
Say hi to the guest when the show's almost over.
Be terrible at ending the podcast.
And starting.
Yeah.
The bookend's not great. Everything else in the middle, perfect. Yes, and with that, thank you, Aaron, for coming on the show. It's been
Of course.
fun. I don't have a way to end the podcast.
I got it.
Okay, thank you.
Dead or alive, you're coming with me.